and you're going to lose.
Yeah, 2 out of 10 at best. So,
Bob, would you talk about the serve one more time, how it's got to be served?
okay, serve is pretty straightforward. We don't have any overhead serves. 3 rules. It's got to be below your waist. Your waist is your belly button. That's pretty high, isn't it? It's kind of high. I don't like to take that chance. You know, I play it down sort of at my hip, right? That's sort of below your waist. It's got to be underhand, which means it can't be sidearm. A lot of tennis players want to hit that sidearm shot, or even up a little higher. It's got to be underhand, which means it's got to be an upward motion. Upward motion. Okay. And the third rule is when you strike the ball, the head of the paddle has to be below your wrist. So you can't cock your wrist and come through the ball and put extra spin on it, right? It's a hard rule to call, and a lot of people don't, but it's best just to keep your wrist firm when you hit the ball. That's all you got to do. But if the head gets above your wrist when you're hitting the ball, you got an issue. But below your waist, right, underhand. A lot of people do it different ways. Where you serve back here is a question of your personal preference. I like to serve back here in a place that puts me in a position to hit the next shot where I want to hit it. I'm a left-handed player, and I want to hit my third shot on my forehand rather than my backhand, right? So I serve from this corner. Why is that?
Gives you a lot of room to hit your
Right.
forehand.
If anybody hits it back, they're not likely to hit it here. They're likely to hit it somewhere out in here, right? So I'm playing a forehand. I'm running forward playing a forehand. I've set myself up for the third shot to play on my forehand. If I was playing over here, right, I've set myself up to have to play a backhand.
Being a lefty.
Yeah. Being a righty, it's just the opposite, right? When you set yourself up here, you're playing a backhand all the way over here. You want to start over here, right? If you want to hit your third shot on a forehand.
Unless
this
you
is
know
a funny
somebody's
game.
really good at hitting that corner for a serve.
Yeah, this is a funny game. You
There's
can
one
actually,
other thing.
yeah.
On the serve, there are imaginary lines that come back from the two, show them, Bob, from the sideline and this line. You must serve
Right.
Within the bounds.
within those boundaries.
can't
You
be
can't
out
stand
here.
out like
right.
Bob is.
I can't be out here, right?
Go get huge angle.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't work.
And you can't step on the line.
Can't step on the line. It's a football. If you step on the line, you lose the point. Okay, so it's easy to do. You know, people will get into the heat of this thing, and before you know it, your foot's like here. I give myself a foot or two, and the reason for that is the other side's objective. The person returning the serve, his objective or her objective is to hit the return as deep as possible. Okay, if I hit my serve here and I take a step in, what happens to me if they hit a deep return?
You're in no man's
Okay,
land.
it's at my feet, or I'm having to
Yeah.
do this to get back and hit it, right? If I stay back, if I serve from here and I stay back, now I just have to run forward to get that shot, right? It's a much easier stroke to run forward to get a shot than to go backwards.
And
So-
people will watch for you to creep in.
Oh,
They will
absolutely.
watch you creep
If
in.
I see somebody taking a return of serve here, I hit it at their feet, right? I hit the serve at their feet. Or if I see that they're getting in on me on that third shot, I'm going to drive it right at their feet. Okay? So it's just something to look for. But basically, you know, the serve's just underhand, nothing fancy. If you hit the serve right here every time, you're just fine. If you aim for the middle, you don't have to play a winner.
Very few serves are
Against
aces.
better players, nobody wins serves.
No, it's to
Right.
get the ball in play.
Nobody
That's what
wins
you're serving
serves
for.
in this game.
Don't try to be a tricky
Just
server.
start the point out. If you can hit it deeper, that's better. You know, if you hit it shorter, what does that do?
Allows them to gives them advantage on the
Right,
next point.
exactly, Matt. What happens is they're already got a partner up here, right? You hit that short serve to them, it just makes it easier for them to get to the net, right? The returner ought to be going to the net on every shot anyway. You ought to be saying, you got a partner up there, right? My job is to just hit a nice firm return, get to the net as fast as I can every single time. Now we got two people at the net. What's the serving team have to do?
Wait,
Over their head.
wait for it to
They
bounce.
got to figure. Well, Matt, they got a problem. The serving team's got a disadvantage in this game. You've got two people at the net. They have to figure out how to break the wall down. right? So like Matt says, well, you can hit a lob. That's kind of a low percentage shot outside, a little bit of wind. If you hit it short, you know, I take a step back and I just pound it, right? You can hit it long, you can hit it wide. It's not a real high percentage shot as you go up in pickleball. So it's not a good idea to try to hit those all the time.
People are fast.
The other thing, what else can we do from, you know, if you're the service team and somebody hits that return to serve deep and you got two people standing right in front of you, what else can we do?
Hit it right in their face.
You can hit it as hard as you possibly can, right at them or up the middle, right? But what does that do if you got a decent player on the other side?
They hit it hard
Yeah,
back.
a hard return.
I'm just gonna hit it back. I'm just gonna hit it back at your feet. Okay? I'm just gonna keep hitting them back and hitting them back till you miss one of those. So you can try to break the wall down by hitting it as hard as you can, you know, right up the middle or right at one of the players. That works fine. I'd say you win, you know, you'll beat them a couple times. Somebody will miss hit one at the net, but against better players, they're just going to sit there and hit them back to you. And, you know, it's going to be an easy shot for them. So that's a strategy, not a real good strategy. What else could you do?
Drop it in the
Drop shot.
kitchen.
Oh yeah, that's a great strategy. You hit that third shot so it drops in here.
Yeah.
Okay? Especially if it's a great drop shot. I can't go in there to volley, right? So if it's dropping, it gets below the net on me, what's my only shot?
Pop it up.
My only shot is to step in there and hit a dink, you know, cross court or somewhere into the no volley zone. That gives the service team a chance to get to the net. So the whole idea here, the whole game is played on the third shot at an advanced level. And you need to start thinking about that if you are the service team, hitting that third shot and dropping it into the no volley zone. That helps break down that wall. It gets your team to the net, so now you have 4 people at the net. You got 50-50 chance of winning the point, not a 20% chance of winning the point. It's all about percentages.